So, Energy Secretary Rick Perry, who was most recently in the news for falling for an obvious Facebook hoax, is now back in the news because he's going to mess up and say the quiet part loud on the issue of Iran. You know, the reason why he's commenting on this, by the way, is, of course, that Saudi Arabia's oil fields were attacked, and he's the energy secretary, and so, you know, it's pertinent to what he's supposed to be doing. So he goes on Fox News, and he says this.
Okay, first start with the response from the United States when it comes to Iran and how far this administration is willing to go. I hear, what were you referring to when you said kinetic responses? Well, I mean, I thought at first you were talking about the economy specifically and the sanctions.
I was, and I think that's the United States. That is where we would like to have this addressed, where the Iranian people are the ones that are being hurt here. This is not these leaders over there. They're not suffering the way the Iranian people are, but these sanctions are clearly being put in place to send the message to the leadership of Iran. We will continue to squeeze you.
The case that Iran makes. Iran makes the case, Mr. Secretary, that those sanctions primarily hurt the Iranian people, not the leadership.
Indeed, they do, and that is how change occurs. The Iranian people, at some point in time, they'll have enough of this, and they will ask for and require regime change. I don't have a problem with that in the world. I don't think the administration does either.
You moron. You moron. That's the quiet part, and you said it loud. How did you not realize that? What's wrong with you? Listen, it's good for us because now he's just saying it. So we don't have to, I don't have to do the, let me interpret this for you, let me break it down for you, and then some people, of course, would listen and be like, I don't think that's right, Kyle. And it's like, well, now he just said it, so I don't even need to read between the lines for you. But he's saying, yeah, the sanctions are going to hurt the civilians, the people, and then hopefully they will then get mad at the government or overthrow the government, and then happy days. But the argument that they've been using about sanctions officially for the longest time is no. This is just targeted to hurt the leaders of the country. We don't want... The reason why we do sanctions and not war is because sanctions are a humanitarian alternative. Yes, so humanitarian. Well, Rick Perry just let the cat out of the bag. He's like, oh yeah, no, the civilians, the people, I have no problem with putting them through hell. Why not? And just for the record, it has the opposite of the intended effect. What ends up happening is you sanction the country, it does hurt the people, but instead of directing their anger at the government, it's really directed at the foreign power who's meddling in their country and hurting them with sanctions. So you actually unite them more. The idea is to divide and conquer, like make the people mad at the government, but really they know you're the ones that are causing the problem. So they get more mad at you, and that America's the great Satan and the death to America chants and whatnot. Why do you think they're doing such a thing? Well, maybe it's because of what he's talking about right here. Now, by the way, that's not to say the Iranian people love their government. They don't. There is unrest in the country, but this is not the way to go about, addressing this situation, because they are hurting regular people, and he just admitted it. Now, imagine for a second our government was doing something messed up. By the way, not hard to imagine because we do it all the time. But just imagine for a second our government's doing something crazy, and then the entire world, one government gets the entire world on the same page where they sanction our country and hurt you and me. Because that's what it's like. It's basically like if the entire world turned around and said, we don't like how America's acting out with all their wars, so we're going to sanction them, and that's going to hurt the people, and hopefully the people will get mad at the government and then overthrow the government. So you and me witness food shortages. You and me witness we already have a lack of medicine because the pharmaceutical companies are price gouging everybody. But imagine they just stopped the medicine flow into our country at all. So we have no more medicine. Because that's what we're doing in Iran. Just so everybody knows, and this was barely reported, which is insane because it's such a big story. We sanctioned medicine going into Iran, and then Iran sued us and took us to the International Court of Justice, which is the top UN court. And the court ruled on the side of Iran and said, you can't sanction medicine going into the country. That violates international law. That's off the table. And then what do? We chastised the court and pulled out of it and kept sanctioning the medicine. These are crimes, war crimes. These are totally illegal. We can't do this, but we're doing it. And now Rick Perry's acting like, well, I got no problem with that because maybe this will lead to regime change. So here's the thing, guys. They can't conceivably say, who, us? We just want to help the people of Iran, which is why we want regime changes. You can't say that because you're admitting I'm hurting all the regular people in Iran. So what's your argument here? I must hurt every single one of them so I can save them. That's the old, like, George Bush is going to bring freedom to the Iraqi people if he has to kill every last one of them. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the people. This isn't about freedom or democracy or human rights or any of that stuff. We are violating human rights. We're sanctioning medicine going into the country. People are dying as a result of it. There's so much pain and suffering in that country, and we're inflicting it. All because maybe we hope they'll turn against the government, overthrow the government, and then we can get in there and get our corporate paws all over the country. That's what this is about. And Rick Perry is too stupid to keep it on the down low.